Good evening, all. Welcome to Assumption Parish School Board meeting. Today we'll begin with roll call by the superintendent. Yours truly will do the board prayer, and Mr. Myers will lead us into the pledge.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Lewis,
Here,
Mr. Meyer, Mrs. Barra, Ms. Fletcher Mickens, Mr. Robinson,
Here.
Mr. Washington,
Here.
Mrs. Hood,
Here.
Mrs. Orso,
Here.
Mrs. Dugard. Here. Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. The agenda will be followed as presented. God, our Father, we thank you for allowing us to assemble to do the work we are called to do. Now, Heavenly Father, we ask that you wrap your broad arms of protection around our students, all our employees, and protect them from all hurt, harm, and danger. Dear Lord, as we start this new school year, we humbly ask to shield us as we try to educate in a safe, working, and learning environment. As we face the ongoing threats of this hurricane season, oh God, we ask for your shield of protection around our schools and all our properties. For all these and more, we ask for your continued blessing on Assumption Parish and all its parishioners. These and we pray, amen. Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, guys, again, I remind you, mics on and volume up. Motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Robinson, second by Ms. Uso. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carried. Next, a motion to adopt the consent agenda. Motion by Mr. Washington, second by Ms. Hood. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carried. Next, under reports and recognition, receive the administrative personnel report. Each of us had a copy of this in our folders. View it at your leisure. Next, recognize and honor school secretaries with no audit finding for the 2021 through 2022 school year. Ms. Randall?
Good evening. We are very proud to make tonight's recognition. I think this is the most that we've had since 2013, 2014, when we started auditing our own school accounting. We put a lot of internal controls and procedures in place, and obviously they're working because the number of perfect audits that we have has increased. As you know, it takes a lot to be a secretary. They carry and wear many, many hats. And to know that they have perfect audits with the financial aspects of their job, we're really proud and really commend them. So without further ado, I'll call forward the secretaries in schools who have received the perfect audit for this school year. First, we have Ms. Bobby Lynn Boudreau of Labadeville Middle School. And if they're not here, I'll ask that the principal come forward, please. And while we're honoring the secretaries here tonight, I do want to make sure that we address the staff and also the administration, because it does take a collaborative effort in the financial aspects of the schools. Ms. Paula Ridley of Labadeville Primary School. Ms. Katie Rock of Bayou Lewis Primary School. Ms. Stephanie Setatal at Pierre Prep Elementary School. And Ms. Terry Thibodeau of Napoleonville Middle School. Again, congratulations to all, and we look forward to another year of a perfect financial audit.
I'd like to say thank you to all of you. Y'all all have done a great job. I know that this is a hard job for these young ladies. You go to school and first person you see most of the time is the secretary. Most of our children interact with them every day. They're counting money, they're answering phones, they're putting Band-Aids, whatever is necessary. These people do it, and they make our school that much better. Thank y'all so much.
Next, we're going to recognize and honor the 2021-2022 school year retirees.
Good evening, everyone. If you remember last year, we started recognizing all of this is actually our second annual recognition of our retirees for the 21-22 school year. We did it the previous year where we tried to get everyone together. Just like last year, we will have a luncheon after this that's in the classroom to celebrate that. I want to be the first one to congratulate the ones that we're going to call up. I'm also going to apologize because I'm going to leave right after this because I have an anniversary and I've been married for 15 years. I would like to stay married for 15 more, so I got to go see my wife. So with that being said, we do have several candidates, and actually we had a larger number last year than this year, which is a show of the times that your depletion of your veterans are slowly weeding themselves out, and the population now with your staff across the district is probably getting close to 70% between year 1 and 10. I mean, there's just not that many veterans left. But we do have some that are retiring this year. In no particular order, the one I want to recognize first, and I know she's not here because we made a call, she is actually unwell, is Miss Elizabeth Smith. She's a teacher at Belrose Middle. She's going to retire with 20 years in service of education. So first of all, I would like to thank her. Mr. B, you have the awards. The awards they're going to receive is a retirement award. It basically says we would like to thank you for your commitment, dedication, and service to Assumption Parish School Board. And before we start moving forward, I would also like to call, and we always like to have our retirees, one of our representatives up here while we're doing this. Miss Linda, come on, hang out with us while we're up here. Miss Linda, come on. You got to come smile and you got to come take a picture with everybody. So if y'all don't know the retirees, we actually have Assumption Parish retiree group. They do a lot of extra stuff if we need it. They come up, so I always like to recognize them. They always get together. It's actually a fun group to be around. Okay, our next person up, this teacher has been teaching now, is retiring after 34 years of service. I think all of his career is at Assumption High School, and that's Mr. Sidney Acosta. Next up, she finished her career as an assistant principal, and I'm not mistaken, if I get something wrong, I do apologize, y'all. But I do believe they're all at PL Park. With 22 years of service is Miss Darla Blanchard. That rose a little while, they telling me. All right. The next one up, we have a school secretary. Usually school secretaries go everywhere, so I know this one has been multiple places. But she does finish her career in Belrose Middle with 20 years of experience, and that's Ms. Giselle Brown. All right, we got a big timer here. We have a bus operator here. She's been driving. Are they all in this package? Correct? That's what I thought. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. With 37 years of service
wow.
is Miss Alicia Carter. We have a paraprofessional that's up next. She does finish her school, her educational experience at Laverne Primary School with 26 years of service, and that's Miss Trunell Landry. Our next employee that's up does retire with us from teaching from Assumption High School. I'm not even going to attempt to name where he's been because I've seen his resume. It's all over the place. That's what normally coaches are. Is Mr. Keith Menard with 25 years of service. We have another secretary up. She does end her career as a staff secretary at the warehouse, and she has been in the system for 33 years.
Wow.
And that's Miss Crystal Pupil. And by the way, I did put him in alphabetical order, so last but not least, so I just want to make sure. Is another teacher out of Pierport. I'm going to guess they're all at Pierport, because you didn't stay there. Am I correct? Is with 25 years, it's Miss Jennifer Patano. Is she here? That's okay. Are they all at Pierport? Yes, huh? I think so too. I think so too. So again, Ms. Jennifer, we have a total this year of 9 retirees in the district from 21 to 22. And again, like I said, we really want to celebrate this because I think this is an honor. It's definitely a service to children, and they spend their life doing this. And I think we should do that. So we do have a meal and a get together at the end. So if you get a picture taken with everybody in there, we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much. I was wondering where all the smiles were coming from. When you look out in the audience and everybody's smiling, but now I know everybody's retired and going home and having a good time. Thank y'all for your years of service.
Yeah, thank y'all, all y'all, for your service. From all the parents and grandparents, we want to thank y'all. I want to thank y'all personally because my kids rode some of them buses and sat in some of these classrooms, and I'm proud of what they became, but y'all hands been on them, and I'm appreciative of that. And Alicia, 37 years, I would never believe. But congratulations to all of y'all, and I pray that y'all have some time, quality time now with your families.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. I just talked to her earlier tonight, and I said, "Where's Craig?" Oh, he's going to a meeting too. So the levy board, huh? Yeah, okay, so, well, congratulations. Let me tell you something. I recall when I first went to Exxon years ago, Baton Rouge, and I thought that was the happiest moment of my life because at the time I got away from working offshore, being away from the family for 7 days, a month, 14 days a month. But when I got that job at Exxon and I came to the point that you all right now retired, when I drove out the gates, I left my security badge, my tweet card, and I got out the car and I kissed the ground, y'all. Honestly, I did. And I said, thank you, Jesus. 'Cause I never thought, probably like you all, that you never got to this day in your life. But you're here now, and it's a blessing to have you all here and for us to be here, the part of witnessing with you. Thank you all, and God bless and live a happy retirement, just as I am. Thank you.
Again, I'd like to say congratulations to all of you. Many of you I know from around the parish. Again, thank you for a job well done.
I want to congratulate everyone. Alicia, I think you're about a year or two older than me. Then I got, yeah.
Y'all telling
Year
now.
or two older than me. Then I got Crystal, my classmate. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And Cynthia Acosta.
She look
I
like she
think
can
you
go a
were
few more years. I
year
ain't gonna
younger
say
than me.
much.
I got a number, don't
Right.
worry.
Yeah, Cynthia was about a year younger than me. Okay. Great ages.
Congratulations to all. Very proud of all the work that y'all have done. And Alicia, I'm going to pick on you too. You're young enough to keep driving.
Congratulations to everybody. I hope that in 5 years I'll wear that smile on my face. Ms. Trinnell was para when I started at Labadyville Primary. She was a big help to me. Crystal, pretty sure, I don't know if she remembers that far back, but we started first grade together at Oak Point Elementary. That was a long time ago. But congratulations to all of you, and thank you so much for your service.
You good?
I want to reiterate congratulations, you guys. We hate to see you leave, but I know you guys are happy to leave. We're gonna definitely miss you guys. And, seems an icon over there. So,
Oh, yeah.
congratulations, and I hope you guys have a great retirement.
Again, thank you all and congratulations again. Next on the paragraph D, recognize and honor Anya Randall for being the recipient of the ASBO International 2022 International Eagle Award. As Ms. Randall over there, so I can recall, I'll start off right here, y'all. So I recall when Anya came to us in, December 2012, I want to say? November of 2012, I'm sorry, I'm always a month behind. So anyway, Anya came aboard when this district was struggling, trying to keep our heads up financially. And if anybody look at the report and see where we are right now financially, we are financially strong right now. And a lot of that is contributed to her. I remember when she first came on board, and then Superintendent Tibby Martinez, and I recall him telling me several times at the conference, say, hey, Anya gonna keep me out of jail. I said, good, because I don't know nothing but what you're doing. So, and going forward, Mr. Robinson and I was at a conference in Lake Charles a couple years ago, and the LSBA director, Dr. Janet Pope, she was telling us what a gem we have in Miss Randall. That same year, I think Anya was elected to speak at a NSBA conference in San Diego, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. And since that time, she wants to speak as a presentator, and since that time, LSBA had removed our membership from NSBA, and Ms. Randall opted to withdraw that trip as a facilitator because she didn't felt the need, even after the board had already approved for her to take that trip out of state to San Diego. So that was very commendable and very respectable on her part. And now you look at this International Eagle Award, or just what it says, international, and she being the first from Louisiana to receive this award is just, it's impeccable. And I can't begin to think of how much that, this little school district, Assumption Parish School, is on the international stage, the national stage, and it's all because of her. and she had made this district that much stronger, and I think financially, we are financially sound right now because of some of the sound business practices that she have implemented, and for that, I'm forever grateful. I know this board is grateful, and for definitely the superintendents, and particularly the past superintendent, Mr. Martinez, who knew nothing about the budget or finance until she got here. So again, Anya, thank you so, so very much. We do appreciate your service, and God bless you.
I really don't think no more can be said, man. But congratulations, and you never cease to amaze me.
Well, I appreciate the thanks and the recognition. It's not Anya. It's really not. If it wasn't for retirees, our secretaries that we bring forward, our entire staff, the support of the board, superintendent, and it's not the support limited here in Assumption Parish. I can call Iberville, Ascension, St. John, whoever that I need help with to make us better in Assumption, and I do it. So, when the lady from Mississippi nominated me, and I did not want to accept the nomination, but, you never know where your blessings come from. I did go through the very rigorous process. And again, while my name is on it, I know that that award is way bigger than one person. So I want to thank everyone for the support, continuous support, and guess what? The best is yet to come.
All right.
Thank you, Anya, for recognizing everyone. I think that's great of you to know that it takes more than one person to make this award, and you've done a great job. Thank you for doing that.
Under policies and procedure, approve the revision to policy GBA, contracts and compensation. Need a motion? Motion by Ms. Dodd, second by Mr. Washington. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
No.
Motion carries. Next, under approve 2022 through 2023 student code of conduct. Need a motion? Motion by Ms. Byron. Second by Mr. Robinson. So I would just like to get the board's attention to page 37. What we was handed to a couple of weeks ago was under jackets, it says, no hoods allowed. Student will not be allowed to wear sweatshirts or jackets with hoods. That has since been revised to mimic what we had last year. It says, no hood should be worn in any school building. So to that point, Ms. Angela Gregoire, last 2 weeks ago, she made a very compelling argument for, the continued use of hoods. So let me tell you, if anyone have to stand outside a bus waiting for a bus in the cold and rainy seasons like that, I think that would be careless of us not to say that these kids cannot have hoods. This policy right here, it says plain and simple, the hoods cannot be worn in a building. I think what Ms. Angela did a couple of weeks ago, what she had done, was give a very straightforward argument to keep the hoods on. When the kids get to the school, she said, even before she say anything, just do this number here, and they already know that the hoods have to come off going in the building. I think this is internally, and this could be worked out in the school system, and I think just the way we need to go with this. I don't think we need to remove this. Keep this policy in place, and maybe we'll look at it further down the line. Now, I grant you, this is a little bit different when you're talking about elementary kids as compared to middle school or high school kids. So again, that's something that, again, I feel that they could be worked out at the school itself, between the principals and the rest of their staff, even the teachers in the classroom. I think this is internal, and they ought to be able to handle that, and should handle it.
Okay, let me get this straight. primary can't have a meeting, because we had spoke about that, and he said,
No,
go ahead.
primaries can,
Everybody.
It's not Katie's.
we're reverting back to the original policy.
Yeah. No
So we're gonna, the only thing that we had in the policy was that students cannot wear the hoods inside of the building.
In the
So we're
building.
reverting back to that policy, which was the original policy.
My only problem with that is that we've spent a lot of money on security, and if somebody comes into the school, I couldn't distinguish who's the intruder and who's the student. And I think we're just opening up a mess between teachers and students.
So, again, go ahead, Jesse, you were saying?
Like the president said, you're gonna operate the school, and if they take your hood off at the beginning of school, at the bus stop or wherever, I think that's an inside thing that you have to just control as a principal administrator. And this can be done. I know the high school is different because the guys are much, larger, but this thing really needs to start right at that bus stop. And that way the hood won't be on when they get to the school, they take it off. But out there at the bus stop, I know it's cold and what's not raining, they need that. So we have to make some decisions on administration.
It has to be enforced.
I myself, I'm like Ms. Cooney. I think we're gonna have a lot of problems with this. It should have been one way or no way. I just don't see them going in their building and just pulling off the hood out, somebody telling them something. Because we've tried this, you know yourself, but that's the policy now. And they always have a problem with the kids. Take your hood off, take your hood off. And I'm sure a lot of these teachers can tell you, it happens every day. And they're spending more and more time trying to get this stopped to where if we'd have done what we said we were gonna do, and I know it's a cost, and I understand that. But if you were at one of the meetings that we went to, the biggest thing the principal told us when he had shooting at his school was he could not defer the shooter from the kids because of what they were wearing. I mean, we really need to focus. We're spending all of this money to protect our children. Let's go all the way. And that's how, I'm sorry, I cannot support this.
Well, I can support it because, like I said, we need to start holding teachers and students accountable. If a principal walk in and see a student in the classroom with their hood on, you hold the student, because they know better, and the teacher accountable. And that's when it's gonna stop. Safety of the kids come first, like we said, but also those kids' health. They are cold. So I think they should wear the hoods, like Ms. Grower said, take them off at the bus stop or before they enter the building. And again, when they enter the building, teachers are supposed to be outside the classroom so they can tell the kids take the hoods off if they have to. If they have to just keep doing it, okay, they just have to keep doing it. I really think that these kids and the teachers need to be held accountable. And that's their job. That's their job.
I disagree with that because what some of these teachers are coming up against is, it's just one more thing that they gotta keep fighting with. And I don't know if, I've been hearing from most of these teachers and all, these kids are defiant. And so you're gonna sit there and you gotta go back and forth with something like that when it could be eliminated. I do agree with Ms. Gregoire when it comes to small kids. I do. But as far as older kids, they're gonna put that hoodie on, teachers are gonna tell them again and again and again, and that's 5, 10, 15 minutes of wasted time where they're saying no. And the teachers got much more on their plate than having to police that. I think when you got a dress code.
All the times they couldn't wear them, now we're telling them they can wear them. I mean, it's what we just like.
Well, I think, I was kind of under the impression, I don't know if you guys were, that they would come back with something that we can talk about, not just the change and then let's vote on it. I thought there was gonna be a compromise. Hey, the elementary school kids, we know these guys, they're small, but the high school, the bigger kids, people like, no, I'm gonna disagree with that also.
So,
Last meeting, I thought y'all were fighting to keep the hood. That's what y'all were saying, the kids, the
Well-
teachers had bought, the kids, the
Well-
parents had bought
No,
these
we were looking
hoods.
at, last time we were looking at compromise, which meant that we maybe table it for a couple of months or whatever it takes, but it was gonna be eventually taken out.
No,
That's
so-
what I understood.
Go back to the minutes.
So listen, we are incorporating several security features in our class, in our schools this year. If you look at that zero eye artificial intelligence, that this thing could detect a weapon before it even get into the class. We're starting to put in metal detectors and all this stuff like this. So again, listen, we have to develop these young men and women for the future. And if they can't follow a simple thing like take your hood off, what they're gonna do when they go out into the future, guys, into the streets and stuff like that? It's not about just the teacher having to tell them, it's a policy. And you know, you go down the street and you run a red light, the cop sitting right there, what are you gonna do? He gonna stop you. That's something that internally that should be done. If a teacher got to tell a grown young boy, 17, a girl, 17, 18 years old, look, take your hood off. You got to tell them more than one time. They know the teacher got one option, send them to the office. You know, I mean, it shouldn't be a 15, 20 minutes class disruption. Class got to go on and just remove that kid from the class.
The conversations I've had with most of these teachers, it just doesn't work like
Doesn't
that.
work like
Yeah.
that.
My
It's
nephew,
a whole different generation.
Hold on.
If that's the case, we must have a discipline problem.
right, my nephew,
do.
my nephew.
We absolutely do have a discipline problem.
Level
What up,
than the teacher.
First of all, the first problem we had is some was corrected, some will let it go. That's like uniform.
That's why you have it.
It's not
We were doing beautifully with one uniform. They have to be so elect. You go to school like that, and you look at their uniforms and see what's the left on those uniforms.
Well, I have a nephew right now. Every time he came off the bus, he had a hood on, and was in May. So we were going shopping, school shopping, and he said, we can't get the hood and jackets. I said, I think they changed it. I said, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you go to school and you take that hood off. You get off the bus, don't come to my house with a hood on. Simple. And I would deal with him.
And I just think, just like I said, I just think it's so late to make these changes. If we was gonna make this change, we should have made this change at the end of last year. We should have known. You can't wait 2-3 weeks before school. People had already bought what they're gonna buy.
All right, if there's no more comments on this issue, roll call, Miss Melissa, please.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes?
Mr. Meyer?
No.
Ms. Barrow?
Yes.
Ms. Fletcher Bacon?
Yes.
Mr. Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Washington?
Yes.
Mrs. Hood?
Yes.
Ms. Dorso?
No.
Mrs. Duval?
Absolutely no.
Thank you, ma'am. Motion passed. Next, under policy and procedure, approve the 2022-2023 pupil progression plan. Have a comment card. So this comment card is submitted by Ms. Nikki Patterson and is on this agenda item, pupil progression. Ms. Patterson?
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
How you doing there?
This is, honestly, I'm pretty sure you've all familiar with me coming up and discussing the pupil progression plan. In the past, it was the pupil progression plan for the 2021-2022 school year, and that was guiding us for the previous school year. Now we're looking at the pupil progression plan for the 2022-2023 school year. My concern was for my 10-year-old son, who I am homeschooling. He has been promoted 3 grade levels above his classmates. And so he took the diagnostic test in September of last year at the 7th grade level, and he scored a mastery in ELA and a basic in math at the 7th grade level at 9 at that time. In May, he sat for the LEAP 2025 test, and we received the results, and On the 7th grade level, he scored a basic in math. He scored a mastery in ELA. He scored a mastery in science, and he was 1 point away from an advanced in social studies. So he had 3 masteries and 1 basic. All of his scores are above the state average. And so what I'm here to discuss tonight is one of the clauses that you have in a pupil progression plan is that a student that is coming from a homeschool program can only go 1 grade level above their peers, and that's not taking into account the academic knowledge that they have. As clear as day, you can see that my son has been prepared in all grade levels, in all content levels across the board for the grade that he's going to face. So if he was to follow this policy that you guys are going to approve or vote on tonight, then that means instead of him going to 8th grade with these scores, since he's taken the 7th grade LEAP test, which is a standardized test that Louisiana students take across any school campus you're going to go in, that means instead of him going to 8th grade, if you approve this policy, he will only be allowed to go to 6th grade. So that means next year he will take a 6th grade LEAP test, and then the following year he would have to repeat the 7th grade LEAP test. I'm not understanding how or why that is being considered rather than the academic knowledge that a child has gained. I understand age considerations, but when we look at age, we have students that are coming from various backgrounds and experiences in life. Some students at 5 years old can outdo my son when it comes down to things that he's not even accustomed to because of the household and the upbringing he has. Some students at 15 years old can't even comprehend what my son understands because of the upbringing that he or she has. So we can't look at upbringing and say, well, we need to consider that. That is parenting. And if we're going to look at parenting rather than school systems and what the school systems have in place for students to be protected socially and emotionally, then I think that is unfair to the parents, because you have students and you can't control the social economic status of any student. My son is given a great life, and we are afforded an opportunity to homeschool him. And the data does show that he has been prepared for 7th grade. When a child is 10 years old and has scored 3 masteries, 1 point away from an advanced in social studies, and he scored above the state average in all of them. The state scores are basic across the board, basic in math, basic in ELA, basic in science, and basic in social studies. And my son's gonna come here with 3 masteries, and because of the plan that's put forward tonight, if you approve it, he won't be able to go to 8th grade. He will only be allowed to go to 6th grade. So my question, my comment is, please consider those students, not based upon what their upbringing is about, but based upon their academic knowledge that they're coming to you with. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments regarding this matter?
Yeah. The pupil progression plan for 22, 23, I would think does not even consist of your child. What you've been dealing with has been before this, okay? So I think your child would not even be considered as going 1 grade up or 2 grades up or 3 grades up. We didn't have the policy at that time. Now, with this being said, I don't even agree with the promoting to 1 grade up. If I agree that if we're gonna do public ed and homeschooling, I really think we need to be consistent, and what's fair for the public ed is fair for the homeschool ed in this parish or this state or wherever this parish by us. But right now, I would say that your child situation, Ms. Nikki, it doesn't even apply to 22, 23. This has been going on before 22, 23. So I'm not even, voting to say your child just go 1 level up. If your child goes 2, 3 levels up, it's according to the committee and the superintendent or whatever. But now the policy, I would want the policy to state no promotion. Just like the kids, the students in the public ed can't move up. Now, I talked to you one day and you said, what about the kids that's socially promoted from 4th grade to middle school, from middle school to high school? That's to protect the younger kids, okay? If that kid not troubled or doesn't give trouble in school, most time they retain those kids in fourth grade. But the kids that's large and probably much older, 2 or 3 years older than the younger kids, they are socially promoted. And those kids that are socially promoted, we have to keep them in school till they're 16 years old. And most of those kids drop out of school. So, in other words, what I'm saying to you, and I've said this to you before, okay, in disagreement, but this is just my opinion. I feel like we are trying to protect, or I want to protect young kids from the older kids because they are older. They are what? 8th graders, what? How old are 8th graders? 14 as opposed to your 11th grader. But that's my opinion. Again, it wasn't in policy. So we can't go by what I think. We could go by what I feel, in my opinion, now for 22, 23, since it is a policy. And that's my feelings. But again, factual, Dr. Martin Luther King went to Morehouse College at 15.
15.
Correct. And I
That's a fact.
submitted that information once my son scored those scores in September of last year. I understand what you're saying as far as it doesn't pertain to my son, but right now, school starts Friday, and it does pertain to my son because he's not allowed to enroll in Assumption Parish School System. So with all due respect, I hear what you're saying. It wasn't in the policy, and I would like to make sure that another student does not go through what my son has gone through. September, one of the concerns is that he can't go to high school because, you know, he'll be starting with the fresh crew. Well, my husband and I submitted paperwork so that he can have 2 years in middle school so he can be with those students who he played Little League football with. He's been playing football since he was 4 years old. So now he's been with those students 7 years, and they've been varying ages. So he will see those students. When he sat for the LEAP test, he sat in the Napoleonville Middle School campus with 7th grade students.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, with all due respect, I appreciate you guys looking out for my son's well-being, but as a stay-at-home mom and as a former educator, I guarantee you I will make sure that my son is, you know, socially and emotionally ready for whatever situation he may face. Now, I can't say what's going on in the school system, but that's why, again, I said don't take the parent's choice away from the parent, but make sure you're fixing the school systems where it's broken. And if we're going to promote a child because of behavior, if we're going to promote a child because of age, then why are we not looking at academics, which the school system should be based upon, and say that is the factor which should make that child go forward or not?
And that's what I'm saying. I agree with you, since it wasn't in policy. I agree, your child should be moved up because it wasn't in policy. But now, as 22, 23, I want it in policy not to move, not to promote them. That's just what I'm saying. But right now, that's not your situation with your child.
So
Okay.
I guess my question is, so what is governing him? Because he's not going to be back in school. So I hear what you're saying, but I'm not following simply because it does govern him.
Well, that's up to the superintendent, not up to us.
Okay.
Thank
But
you.
I do agree with you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Patterson. Thank you for your comments. Any other questions or comments? Dear, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion.
I oppose.
You opposed, Lex? Okay, yeah, the motion was, it was motion by Ms. Dot, motion by Ms. Barra, second by Ms. Dot. We have, one dissenting opinion, Ms. Minkin. Thank you, motion carries. Next, on the paragraph D, approved 2022 through 2023 athletic handbook, need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Uso, second by Mr. Robinson. Questions or comments?
Yes, I have a question. To be eligible, you have to be in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade? Okay, so 5th graders cannot play, am I right?
Yeah. Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler.
Okay, so 5th graders don't participate at all, even if you don't have enough kids to make a team? Okay, so you have to find kids in 7th or 8th grade, 6th, 7th,
Six, seven, and
or
eight.
8th. No excuses.
It's,
Okay, all right. Also, you have basketball rules. Christy Smith will submit specifics about a basketball jamboree. Can you tell us when that'll be?
We, in principle, don't, what the Jamboree, because we did set, right, we did set the Jamboree schedules and dates and all, so that may have been, something that we hadn't taken out accidentally.
I don't know. That's what's in, we'll get specifics. I'm just wondering when that's going to be available.
Because we have all the dates and all set for the Jamboree.
That one with the dates out.
Okay, we'll
It's
check
in
on it.
section of
We'll check on
11.
it. It was the format of the Jamboree, that we gave her the specifics of. Okay, we can get that in there as soon as, she can email. It was basically the format of who plays who. We had it for football, but we didn't have it for basketball. So it's just who plays who, how many minutes, and the specifics of the game that takes place.
Okay. And one more question. Last year, we had secretaries finding officials. Who's responsible for finding officials?
Secretary.
Secretaries
I am
were-
totally responsible for finding officials, so if a secretary maybe can explain when that took
School
place.
secretaries were finding referees at the last minute. Who's going to find referees?
I took care of scheduling referees for every game. On one situation, we did have, one of the referees got his dates mixed up, but I communicated with the agencies. I took care of getting the referees. We did have a mix-up, but it was not standard procedure for secretaries to find referees. Not at all.
All right, because our secretaries have enough to do, so.
And we definitely understand that we all are really stretching ourselves, but we do it because we have to do it. And I appreciate everything that they do.
all right, thank you, Mr. Bush. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, motion carried. Next, under budget, authorize the superintendent to solicit a request for a proposal for a licensed professional counselor. Motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Hood, second by Ms. Dot. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, motion carried. Next, under paragraph B, approve contract renewal between the School Leadership Center of Greater New Orleans and Assumption Parish Schools. Need a motion? Motion by Mr. Robinson,
Second.
second by Ms. Dot. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, motion carried. Next, paragraph C under budget, approve the contract renewal with Power School. Need a motion? Motion by Mr. Washington. Second by Mr. Robinson. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, motion carried. Next, paragraph D, approve the contract renewal with Taylor Media Services. Need a motion? Motion by Ms. Dot. Second by Ms. Hood. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Next, paragraph E, approve contract renewal with National Institute for Excellence in Teaching, NIET. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Uso, second by Mr. Robinson. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, motion carried. Next, paragraph F, approve contract renewal with First Choice Therapy Incorporated. Need a motion? Motion by Ms. Dot. Second by Mr. Robinson. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, motion carried. Next, paragraph F, receive Medicare billable summary report for 2021 through 2022 school year. Ms. Randall?
For the last 4 years, we have been billing for Medicaid through a third-party agency, EIS Med Claims. And since that time, we prepare an annual summary to show you about how much money we've received for Medicaid reimbursement. I'll go over the percentages of revenue we received for this last school year. We bill for in 3 areas: speech, therapy, and nursing. In the speech category, we receive 40.51% of our total encounters we receive revenues for. The total revenues for speech was $109,106. We had 6 employees, so that averaged out to about 18,000, a little over 18,000 per employee. If you look at the history, this is the most that we've received, so definitely commend our speech therapy group. And even with having less billable encounters, the type of encounter, because you see the less billable encounters, if you look at all the other years, it was about 800 to 1,000 less that we actually qualified for, but it's about $4,000 more. So that lets us know that what we heard from the auditors, that the paperwork was very well documented, and the things that they put in for this year, we received the full billable amount for it. So that's awesome for our speech team. The therapy services for last year, we receive a little under 18%, which is our lowest amount. Our total revenue is $5,202. We only have 1 therapist that we're billing for. That amount is our lowest, and our encounters were a little bit more, but the billable encounters were less. So where therapy was seeing more people, the people that were identified Medicaid eligible was not there, which made the percentage go down. Our nursing services, we received 46.38% of our total billable encounters. The total revenue for nursing was $71,470. We have 5.5, you might say how we have a half employee, but we have a part-time contracted nursing services at our Bayou Lewis primary campus. And so the average per employee is a little under 13,000. You'll see where that was the lowest since we began this program for nursing services. It was also the lowest total revenue we received for nursing services.
Was there a special reason why it went down?
No, I haven't received an explanation. We were very hopeful. I know the last 2 years it was down because of COVID. You know, we shut down a year, then we had hybrid schedules. So the volume we thought went there. Last year we were in school the entire time, so we're not sure why the numbers are about 20% down from the first year when we were in school the whole year.
Ms. Dugas, I just want to take in consideration, last year we were still under quarantining guidelines all the way up until January. So when you're looking at testing data, you're looking at processing data when it comes to Medicaid claims, please take that in consideration that we still were under the quarantining guidelines. So we're still sending kids home who had COVID, who was exposed to COVID, employees as well. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I think that that is warranted. And also take in consideration, we did shut school down due to the hurricane. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Anya. Stay at the plate. You're still at the plate again. Received June 22 sale and use tax report.
For the month of June, which ended our fiscal year, our total returns processed was 1,944. Our total receipts was $1,111,180.89. That was a 7% increase. The school board received $553,287.85. The 92 bond fund received $110,657.48. Our delinquent rate for the month was 7%. There was no audit revenues for this month. And also our auto sales was $272,953.91. When we look at the total for the year, we did have a surplus in the sales tax of a little bit over $1 million. And the 92 bond fund, we had a surplus of $284,000. So we did meet budget on both pockets of money.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it, Anya. Next, paragraph I, discuss removing the assistant cross-country coach and adding an additional volleyball assistant coach at Assumption High School.
Thank you, Mr. President. Talking to Ms. Thibodeau, there's a need for an additional volleyball coach. So we're trying to move. We're not asking, I have to come back to the board because you all approve positions, and I do not have another position in the budget for an assistant volleyball coach. But also talking to Ms. Thibodeau, when you look at cross-country, having an assistant coach is not needed. So that position wasn't being used, so I want to move that position to volleyball so we can have a freshman volleyball coach. And I want to make it noted that that position will carry a stipend of $3,000. That way we're not interfering with the budget that you approve as far as a dollar amount.
Okay, all right.
So what's gonna happen to the coach, the assistant coach?
For cross-country?
Yeah.
Well, that position is being moved to volleyball. I was informed that
I'm talking about the person.
we don't have anybody in the position.
You don't have nobody.
No, sir.
Oh, well, you ain't moving.
I just have to come back to the board because you all approved the positions. I just don't have another position for volleyball, so I'm just asking.
I thought you were volunteering, man.
No, I ain't volunteering. I'm thinking for somebody's job.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Well,
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah. Okay, so, any other comments or announcement before we adjourn?
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
I just want to personally thank all of our retirees. Congratulations on a job well done. Phenomenal work. I'm son of 2 retirees in education. My dad did 42 years, 25 years as a principal. My mom did 33 years. You know, grandmother drove the school bus and also worked in the school system as a substitute teacher. I've also been impacted by teachers throughout my career. So the value in what you do and what you've done over the years, I believe is sacrificing your life for a life. Because what you do, you contribute to the growth of young men and young women. So I truly, truly appreciate you for that. I also want to congratulate our secretaries for doing an outstanding job. When I was a principal, the most important person in the building was the secretary. I saw her in the morning when I first went there, and she was the last person that I talked to in the evening. Not my assistant principal, not my teachers, my secretary. And she kept me out of trouble. She managed my school for me. So congratulate you as well, and also congratulate Mrs. Randall. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Dan, I'd like to also say we'd like to continue praying for Brother Honoré, brother and family. He lost his brother, and we'd like to continue praying for him. Also, I'd like to thank the Bartholomew for the great hospitality that he exhibited during our leadership conference last weekend.
Yes, yes. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Mr. Robinson. That was a very, very informative conference. You know, you're talking about Louisiana, of course, Arkansas, Mississippi, Georgia, and Tennessee. And everybody from all those school districts around the state, they shared a common concern, which was safety. And I was not really miffed about the fact that most of them was pretty much doing the same things that we are employing in our school system, trying to do a single point of entry and stuff like that. And that zero-eye technology, that stuff seemed to be morphing all over the United States. It's a good way of detecting a weapon before it even get in the building. And again, everybody pretty much had that common goal of school safety before the school starts, because this is getting to be a growing concern all around the school districts around the country. So let's just be careful, guys, and let's pray we have a good, safe school year this coming year. Thank you all.
Heard anything on our,
Zebra?
the things we got put up, yeah. Have we heard, are they in?
Metal detectors.
The cameras and, the safety measures that we're gonna put in, currently right now, we ordered everything. The metal detector should be in next week. That's what I was told by the rep. Unfortunately, our cameras that we have to update, and Josh is here, he can give an update, it's on back order. But that's everywhere across the country.
That's all everywhere. Yeah,
but we will install zero eyes on the current cameras that we have in the system. So, and Josh, I don't know if you want to give a quick update from the last time you talked to the guy at Zero Eyes, but what we have currently right now, the cameras we have right now, we're gonna put those on, and as those cameras, the new cameras come in, we're gonna install those and have those ready to go as well. I don't know if you had anything to add.
I don't have any other issues with your eyes, but, the internal and external cameras that we have on order, the internal cameras, we should see in October, but the external cameras, won't make it here till probably December. But what we will do is use that time to prep for the installation, so we'll get all the wires run. We'll talk to Zero Eyes as far as camera replacement. So once we get them in, we can get them right and installed right away.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Dr. B. Motion to adjourn. Motion by Ms.